up. So by now, you know it's going to be New England versus Los Angeles in the Super Bowl. Where do I start? Both games went to overtime. Both road teams win. Or somebody went to Vegas and played that. You know, it's kind of funny. I almost had a premonition this was going to happen because to tell you what about New Orleans and Kansas City, something about New Orleans, I just thought they weren't the same after that game against Dallas. Just thought they really weren't quite the same. As far as Kansas City, I think Patrick Mahomes should be the MVP, and he had a great year. But then again, his head coach is Andy Reid, and Andy play it too safe, poor clock management. Reid, that something is off. Now in that New Orleans LA game, they missed that call. However, receivers going in that direction, that ball looked like it could have been underthrown. It still could have been a call, but then again, these calls are judgment calls, and sometimes they don't make those calls. But that's not why New Orleans lost the game. You at home, you had the momentum, and you were up 13-0, and Jared Goff was kind of sketchy, and they still came back on you. You got no excuse. You got to win that game. I can't blame one call for you win or losing because guess what? If you go to the show, you might get blowed out because they did. The Rams started building momentum. New England Kansas City game, New England actually because of the interception in the first half, that's why that game wasn't a blowout. Because actually Brady, they were getting rid of clock Kansas City's clock. They were up, could have been up 3 scores. So, but these games, if you're a fan of close games, they turn out what you want. Now, as far as this matchup is concerned, it all depends on style. I think New England's playing with a chip on their shoulder because people like Max Kellerman, that turkey be on First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Molly Rose up there talking about Tom Brady gonna fall off a cliff. This ain't the Price is Right when you get the wrong number and the guy goes off the cliff. He been saying that Tom Brady gonna be off a cliff the last 3 years, and last I checked, no, Tom Brady's standing on the cliff, heads up. He ain't walking on with penny loafer. He's standing with steel-toed shoes on. He's still clocking turkeys and taking names. That's the baddest white boy and maybe ever in pro sports. And then in NFL, he's the greatest quarterback ever. And if he gets another chip, I have to probably put him as the greatest player ever. I'd even put him over Jim Brown, Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders, even my cousin Lawrence Taylor, OJ, Walter, Peyton, the guys that were elite. And yeah, I threw all those names in there because I'm talking about the creme de creme. Tom Brady you can't even put it in the words. And I forgot to mention Joe Montana, obviously, was bad too, but he's just on a whole different level. I mean, you 20 years and you're going to 9 Super Bowls and 3 straight, and you got 5 chips and you lost 3. And I mean, but it's mind blowing what Tom Brady's doing. Unheard of. He's unfadable. He said he gonna play the 45 easily. I can see it. And Buffalo Bills is my team. And I'm gonna tell you something. As whack as we are at quarterback, I keep him until he was 65 because we're gonna be a while before we have anything half as good as what he got. And a lot of these whack teams too. But Belichick's really the greatest head coach. And man devised the plan, and they had Patrick Mahomes looking off in this game. And you saw what they did to Phil Rivers and the Chargers. I'm just telling you, Belichick got something up his sleeve. He didn't heard all of what happened last year in the Super Bowl with Philly, so he didn't have a chance to read. There is nothing like what they do. Are you kidding me? Most teams, they get a little run, they get knocked off. Not them. Teams win the Super Bowl, when they lose, they don't come back. You saw when New England beat Atlanta, Atlanta ain't came back. They ain't been the same since. They need smelling sauce to wake their nose up. They just like punch drunk. Seahawks were never the same after that choke job against New England. You saw what happened. It's still nice, and Russell Wilson is still one of the elite quarterbacks. But Pete Christmas Carroll, they ain't been they. It's a cute little story, but let's be realistic. They not Super Bowl bound. You look at the teams that played either against them or Philadelphia even had like a hangover, and they got a quarterback controversy. Because let's be realistic. As bad as Carson Wentz is, and Carson Wentz is a top tier quarterback, but Nick Foles ain't no joke. Nick Foles is money to them cats. Those cats light up for him. Okay, that's just a fact. Doug Peterson, they gotta put them cats under hypnosis to get them off that Nick Foles trauma because they look at him like the clock is going woo, and they really light up. They saw what happened. They about one play away from playing this game against LA today. That's real talk. So but anyway, but what you see with Brady Belichick and Robert Kraft Arnold, they just they come up. Grunt came up. Edelman came. I mean, I remember Edelman spent the first 4 games, and he was huge today. I mean, they just, you know, Running game was off the charts. You know, I mean, the defense, that was the key. The defense did enough to nudge. And I'm not shocked or surprised. I agree with Skip Bayless on that. You never bet against number 12. I mean, except when you play against my Buffalo Bills, but been down with Brady since he went to my favorite college team, University of Michigan. That's a bad white boy. I'm gonna tell you that you can't. He's bad. He just stockpiles ring. He just wins. He just got that in his DNA. And but the Rams, Sean McVay done a great job. Jared Goff done a great. Ty Gurley done good, done great. Aaron Donald, arguably best player in the NFL, baddest defensive player. Adama Sue Talib. It's gonna be an intense Super Bowl. It could really go all the way based on style and what can get done. And the Rams, I gotta give them credit. They didn't buckle today. They play their hearts out. You know, so it's gonna be a battle of wheels and what have you. Should be, you know, this also the LA versus Boston, be the LA Boston situation. So you know it's political in that regard. But LA and LA, New England, LA. How Brady made his name when he won that first Super Bowl. So we're gonna see how. But who gets to do this kind of story? 20 years later, it's just amazing. So it's gonna be very compelling what happened. So that's my take on New England versus LA and what happened this week in the championship game. So feel free to leave them comments. I'm out. Peace.